Fucking liking it, pre-liking it. 1 view, Andy, dude. We're in. We're fucking in. All right, who's ready for this, dude? I'm like a kid. Like I'm giddy. Motherfucker said nah sub. Dude, I've literally been on this podcast. What are you talking about?
Welcome everybody to a very special episode of the H3 podcast. Today is my first ever debate against the one and only Steven Crowder, thank you very much. Thank you. Steven Crowder.
Please stand up.
Who's standing up?
Ethan, please stand up.
Ethan, oh man.
Ethan, please stand up.
Who am I to disobey our great, glorious leader? Crowder challenged me to a debate. He called me a layup. He said I was stupid. Well, Steven, I think the debate speaks for itself. Steven Crowder, for those of you that don't know, is probably one of the most hateful, bigoted people on the platform. Racist, homophobic. I mean, pretty much hits every box. We made this big, beautiful compilation of some of his greatest hits, but it's actually so heinous and offensive that YouTube age restricted the first upload of our video. So that all is available for our members, with the whole compilation and everything, which is, adds a lot of atmosphere. But for the sake of this version, we had to cut all of that out. But he is, let's just take my word for it in that case, a giant douche. Well, my tiff with Steven came when he said that our clip about COVID, when we were saying it's okay to listen to scientists, said it was his favorite clip of all time. We went back and forth for people who have been following, and Steven boldly challenged me to a debate and a video titled, Your Move, Ethan.
I will invite you on the show, Ethan Klein. I will have I'll follow you on Twitter. I will have Darren, my booker, reach out where you can come on this show.
Darren's his dad, by the way, right? Just say your dad, bro. He keeps trying to hide that it's his dad. You guys will get more info about the dad.
That's true.
But
hey,
Darren's
boys,
his dad.
here, spam this.
We usually go after.
Here, spam the link. Spam the link for and retweet it and fucking get other people that wanted to watch it. I already blasted it. We're watching it. It's live.
Political figures, authoritative sources right on this show. Usually those are the people who we have to debate. Change My Mind is not a debate, but we've had politicians, scientists, Pulitzer winners, and every now and then a layup crosses our path who we just kind of like the shtick that you're only capable of.
Now, in our original video about Crowder, we had noticed that he had reached out to me to book me on his show, and he was kind of butthurt that I ghosted him all this time. And in this video, he claims here that he never reached out to a booker and that I'm lying about it. So here's what he says about that.
I'm going to assume that you didn't blatantly lie in some of the things that you said, that you're just really lazy or incapable of your due diligence. So you said we'll get to a female booker reached out to you for the show. Hey, Gerald, have I ever had a female booker?
That's a no.
Never,
that's
ever. Now you're either lying.
We don't work with women on this show. So that's impossible.
Or you're so lazy. Because I don't want to bully you, and then you go and try and get us removed. You're so lazy, you didn't even just verify the fact that it was complete.
Well, you know what? I took this to heart. So I said, you know what, Steven? I am going to look into this. I found the email that was sent to me. It was very professional. And it still had her social media contacts on it. And so I followed her down on Instagram, and I said, hey, blank, did you ever do booking for Louder with Crowder? I'm just trying to verify that this email I got from you inviting me on the show is real or not. Thanks. Here's the email, by the way. Super professional. Definitely a real email, by the way. This one in particular. She immediately responded to me. She said, yes, I did booking for him years ago for a few months. I'm not quite sure whose contact you have now. I know his dad does his booking for him, though. Let me know if you need it to try to find his contact. Interesting that she knows that detail. That makes me think that is very real. And that he's lying about inviting me on his show. How odd. Well, yeah, and while we're talking about lying, Steven, why don't you tell him that you never filed a lawsuit? Tell us if you filed that lawsuit against YouTube, Steven. Come on, be honest with your viewers. And Steven says he doesn't want to bully me, but here he goes on to say this, and I am feeling very insecure now that Steven has taken a shot at me.
Listen, dude. Listen, Ethan, you got the holsters now. It's good. Okay. At first, you didn't have holsters, so obviously, what would you call it? A holster lit, like a manlet, but like a holster lit. But now you got the holsters.
The Kleenex.
So,
Let me just say, first of all, you have.
Hold on a second.
We were making fun of the fact that Steven had Kleenex on his table, which is pretty funny. Let's be honest. He's sitting there with gun holsters and tissue.
Wait, I gotta take the
what is
gun
he
out. I gotta
crying
take
every
the gun out
second?
for this again.
So listen to this.
Get out of here. Not
That's
a real
due
gun.
to
Not a real gun.
allergies, okay? So I had a bronchial thing, which is community guidelines.
I don't have a holster, but at least I have a Glock. It's an airsoft. It's not a real gun. Okay, calm down. But you know, it's for ambiance. It's because I just it's like a fan piece. Like I love Steven Crowder.
In a mutable condition. It's genetic.
Oh, poor Steven with his allergies. Don't put the tissue on your desk. It's funny. All right, don't get so twisted up. Look how twisted he gets about me laughing about him crying all the time. He needs a box of tissue on his desk.
But I guess there's a ceasefire here, so we can talk about any genetic conditions like
Sure.
the lack of chin, lack of beard, 120-pound man wearing the Cinderella bandana on his head.
That one I didn't get. What's the 120-pound man? Cinderella?
I couldn't really
If
follow.
he's talking about me, I am not 120 pounds. Trust me, dude.
What the fuck?
We don't have it. Right. Well, anyway.
Steven Crowder doesn't have the he can't be calling nobody chinless, dude. He's literally like a beard fish. You know what I mean? Like hat fishing when you're bald and you hide your baldness. Like he literally makes up his lack of chin with like a beard line. Like he tries to do that.
Way.
And to compensate with the beard that he uses just for men, or the
Wait, but he's doing that. He literally does that.
That's my
eyebrow phrase
favorite.
like E.T. in the cornfield. It's so stupid, bro. The point is,
Wait, isn't that a tit? What the fuck?
I always think it's like hilarious when people actually go to the debase themselves to making fun of my Tourette's. It's
What
like,
the
okay,
fuck, dude? Oh
And
my
I really
God,
got
he's-
you hard with the tissue thing, bro. Just don't
Yeah,
put
I
the
mean,
tissue on. I can't hide my Tourette's.
You fired the first volley by making fun of his allergies. So.
Your
Yikes,
allergy,
dude.
dude.
Yikes.
Poor
Which you didn't
Steven Crowder has
actually
a
do.
disability.
Yeah, we didn't
Yeah,
realize he
you
had a
know.
disability like that.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, bro.
Ableist much?
I had all that coming. Yeah.
By the way, Steven Crowder is such a fucking douchebag that him being like so openly ableist towards Ethan here is like it's like on the laundry list. I'm just surprised he didn't get like hyper anti-Semitic. You know what I mean? Like that was. It's such a fucking oh god, he's such a bully, dude. He is such a literal fucking bully. It's wild. Sorry, no more
I'm
pauses.
deeply
gonna try not
offended,
to
though,
pause
at
it.
the bullying portrayed, and I take absolute cross with that. And Dan had this one moment that actually went a little bit viral in the political community that Steven notably ignored during our tit for tat. I'll play it for you here. And this is where I'm
Makes
leading
sense to a lot of people, but just because I feel like there's a decent chance Steven Crowder will see this, and this will be the only time that I get to say this. Debate Sam Seder, dude. Stop being such a pussy. I know that your dad doesn't want you to, but that was a long time ago. That was you're 3 years older now. It's time. It's time to debate Sam. So
and notably, he doesn't include this. He watches the whole clip, but not the debate Sam Seder.
weird he didn't cover that part. He
Now-
went into a lot of detail on everything else.
Oh, yeah. Oh, exhaustive
Oh, God.
detail. Now, who is Sam Seder? Sam Seder is the host of a political left-leaning show called The Majority Report. Has 1 million subs. He's a big channel. Crowder famously backed out of a scheduled debate with Sam at Politicon, earning him the name Cold Feet Crowder at the behest of his dad. Sam secretly recorded the phone call with the organizer of the event, who exposed Crowder. Here's the call.
Yeah, that's a real shame
I
about
think
Crowder.
you're bigger. Yeah, I don't know what his team is doing around him, and that's just for me to speculate at this point. I don't know.
He has a team? He has a whole team and he won't do it? He could bring the team.
I believe it's his father, but I can't confirm or deny that.
By the way, everyone seems to be confirming that it's his dad doing all this shit behind the scenes somehow. So people speculate that actually he actually backed out of the debate because Sam is actually, an informed, good debater, and they were afraid that, Crowder would look like an idiot. And so he backed out at the last minute at the behest of his father. The thing is, he's happy to challenge me, somebody that has no political knowledge, very little. I don't spend my day talking and thinking about politics, nor am I a debater, nor am I, let's be honest, intelligent. So
Same.
Let's be honest. So with all that being said, we figured let's get someone who is familiar with the topics, who does spend their time thinking about politics, and who is, unlike me, smart. So we've got a little surprise for Steven Crowder. So let's all enjoy the debate.
I'm really glad to have my next guest on the show. And I've always said this. I always respect.
Dude, he fucking primed this up so well, dude. Ethan just lubed this all up so well. Oh, God. Okay, are you guys ready for this fucking roller coaster, dude? Holy shit. Oh, my God. Oh, fuck. Okay, let's go. Let's do it. Buckle up.
Enter into the arena. And, we've had a lot of debates on this show, which is different from like a Change My Mind where we sit down and have conversations. But my old Brazilian jiu-jitsu coach always said, if you come a switch, we go switch. You go spicy, we're going to do a little spicy. So we always try and keep it as respectful as possible. And I really do appreciate the guy making the time because a lot of people has a huge YouTube channel, several YouTube channels, one of the OGs. A lot of people watch him. You know him. Some of you like him. Some of you don't. Same can be said for me. Ethan Klein from H3H3. Ethan, thanks, man, for making the time.
You're very welcome. And I just want to say, I know you called me.
His voice is trembling already.
You said that I would be a layup.
I think I use something like that.
And I think you're right, because I don't think I'm a very good debater. I think you know that. So I didn't want to make it too easy for you.
Oh, okay.
So I've prepared.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So
Dan,
what we were going to talk about is the initial quote that happened. I think he's looking off there. The initial quote that kind of was turned into a little bit of a meme, which wasn't intentional, and was you saying you don't even have to think about it regarding the CDC. And I disagree with that. I think people should think about it. I believe. And we talked about this through playful ribbing and an aggregation of medical authorities and scientific voices to make an informed and rational decision. So where do you think that I'm wrong on that?
Stephen, do you know that the Spartans are like practice man love with children?
Oh, geez. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. What did I tell you? He was going to do anything he could to avoid. Oh, there he is. Oh no, Sam Seder! What a fucking nightmare! You, I had no idea this was going to happen. I thought Ethan was a stand-up guy.
Wait, dude! Oh, we gotta run that again. Oh my God, he's literally like worried. That's why he's scared, because he did this already. If you saw earlier when I talked to Ethan, like he was watching to make sure that Sam Seder was not going to come in because they suspected that Sam Seder was going to come into this debate. That's why he's trembling. Look at this.
I believe, and we talked about this through playful ribbing and an aggregate. So where do you think that I'm wrong on that?
Stephen, do you know that the Spartans are like practice man love with children?
Oh, geez. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. What did I tell you? He was going to do anything he could to avoid. Oh, there he is. Oh no, Sam Seder! What a fucking nightmare! You, I had no idea this was going to happen. I thought Ethan was a stand-up guy. This is where we are. Yeah, I told Dave. Remember I told you? I said this is. I guarantee you, he's going to do anything he can to avoid the debate.
Well, I just think he believes that he should debate you.
No, he doesn't. He just takes advantage of women with mental health issues. Ethan Klein doesn't stand up and do his own fighting.
I gotta say,
wait, what?
It's just hilarious. Let's bring on FM.
You would do anything to avoid talking to me. I think the point that you made
at
the beginning of
Joe
this
Rogan. Yeah, Joe Rogan and Dave Rubin and Jordan Peterson and Noam Chomsky and Sam Harris. Everyone's been avoiding.
And not just attempting to get your audience by jumping in.
Well, I debated with Charlie Kirk. Stephen, I mean, It's about issues. Let's
It's about
talk about
issues,
those
yeah.
issues.
That's
I
what
think
you're
you have
doing
some
here.
valid
Yeah.
points.
You're
that
so
I think we
clever.
should
I had no
discuss.
Why
idea
are
that
they
you were
not
taking.
showing Steven Crowder. Go back to Steven Crowder. I don't give a fuck about like Steven Crowder's B team, dog. Oh my god. Hey boys, frame shattered. Okay, that's a Sigma male right there. The Sigma male Sam Seder, dude. Absolutely frame annihilated. Okay, Steven Crowder has no frame. He's off the frame because he has no frame now. Oh, he is so mad. This is so.
Your
good.
show off early last time, coming in today with your pig pen peanuts
I
eyes.
wish every
You take those off with the velveteen
really are.
buttons.
We must have been
Black
very worried
eyes,
about
aren't
this,
they? Like
Stephen. I don't know why.
no
it would
one's
be
worried
Oh, come
about
on,
it.
so
Sam.
I didn't want to
Well,
do
let's have the
Sam,
debate.
come
If no
on. Just
one's
I'll tell you
worried,
what.
let's do this.
I have a general.
This is a
rule.
great
I don't
opportunity
start a
to-
debate based with people on a lie. And how about you get to a,
sabotaging?
how about you get to
Steven,
a
show
30th
yourself,
of the
you
audience
coward.
share?
Steven, show yourself.
30th
Don't show
of the
your
audience.
co-host.
Ethan, you should show
Steven,
yourself.
excuse-
Ethan, how can you respect yourself as a man, brother?
Steven,
so
Steven,
strongly
you
that
are
you're
such
not
a
willing
coward.
to
Stop
debate.
showing your little
I
leprechaun
thought you would
co-host who
welcome-
comes
Right,
out dressed like your
Ethan, come on,
sidekick.
Ethan. Why do you have to bring on a
Show
guy who has
Steven.
30th of the
I'm really
viewership?
Why
of
are
this
you-
guy?
Saddest thing I've ever heard. So you have a
Just
guy
show
with
Steven.
less viewers to come on to debate him because you can't.
Well, obviously,
don't
if
you
I'm
get
a,
some-
Apparently he
if,
had to think
obviously
about
I'm
it,
a,
bro.
if I'm a layup
Yeah,
and
you
not a
had to think
debater.
about it.
Well, look,
Yeah,
you're the
I
one
mean,
who called. You're the one who got
started the debate.
started.
God damn, dude. He's like, he is balking like a fucking chicken over here, dude. Bark, 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 bark. Oh my lord. He's like, he won't even show his face. Come on, dude. Come on. This is the juicy content. We only got to see like 3 seconds of him so triggered and so upset, dude. Oh, what a gift. What a gift. Oh God. This is wonderful, dude. This is making me so happy. Oh Jesus.
The one that got angry about
Show
it.
Steven. Don't be
Hold on
such a
second. All right,
coward.
hold on a second. Let me hear what Pigpen has to say here really quick.
Fair enough.
Show
Why are they saying pig pen? Like, is that like what is the flex there? Like that Sam doesn't have like rich backers or some shit? Like, what's the problem?
Ethan, look, I don't, hold on a second, Ethan, this is because initially I
Thank
came
you.
on here to talk with Ethan, come on, man. Look, the same reason that I haven't ever had a conversation with Sam Seder is the same reason that Joe Rogan, Sam Harris, Brett Weinstein, Dave Rubin, Ben Shapiro don't own anything. It's based on a lie, Ethan. Just
What's
like
the
you
lie?
claiming my, Ethan,
What's the
you
lie?
claiming my
What's the
booker
lie,
reached
Stephen?
out to you, Ethan, when you know
Stephen,
that's
what's the
not
lie?
true. There's no
What's
one
the
ducking
lie?
you,
Why
Sam.
are you
I've
so
never
afraid?
Sam,
Yo, listen, I think you're a smart
I can
guy.
call out Mike
I don't
Tyson.
understand why
It doesn't mean that I'm
you are
ducking him.
so worried about this.
Why do you
I
feel that?
honestly
Why do you
don't.
feel that anyone, Sam? Why do you feel that anyone owes you airtime when you have a 40th of the audience and you've been doing the
I
show?
don't think anybody.
Oh my God. He's literally like, I'm not ducking you. I'm just, you just don't have that big of an audience. God damn, dude. I mean, in some ways I do understand. Like, I wouldn't fucking debate someone who's like significantly smarter than me unless it was like good content. But it's not like Sam Seder is like a tiny creator. He's one of the largest fucking voices on the left. Also, speaking of larger voices on the left, so what's up? If I fucking hit up Steven Crowder, like, would he debate me then? I mean, I'm here. I got 54,000 people watching right now. Like, I would 100% do it. Like, it's not like these dudes are, I don't know, avoiding these people on the virtue of like their audience size or anything like that. Or sorry, being informed is 57,000 now. I mean,
10 times
the
as longer.
airtime. I think that Ethan has just given it to me. I didn't
Right.
ask him for it, and
Right.
so
No, you've been begging
the
for
real
it for a long
question
time
is,
with everyone
Stephen,
bigger than
why
yourself.
Are you so
he found
worried
He
about
can't build an
engaging with me?
audience, and so what
Why
happens is
are
he
you so
uploads 15
worried about-
times more,
Do you think
has
your
less than a
audience
50th of the
says-
audience.
Well, that's
Do
why
you
he
think
wants to
that your
debate you, is so he
audience-
can build his.
Sam,
Do you think
come on.
your audience
Yeah,
cares
yeah.
that I only have 1 million subscribers and you have what, 6 or 7 million?
I think
he should have been like, yeah, what's up? On those change my mind videos, do you fucking make sure that like the college campus freshmen that you're talking to have like the appropriate amount of audience? Or do you only care about that when you know you can just like easily fucking dunk on college freshmen with like talking points that you got from the Heritage Foundation? Because that's the fucking point. Like, anyway, sorry.
Let me answer. Can I
I don't
answer your
think
question?
they
Can I
do.
answer your question? Can I answer your question?
Sure.
You want me to answer your question? My audience would say Sam who? Just like Joe Rogan's audience and Ben
Well, now
Shapiro's
they
and
all
Dave
know
Rubin.
who I am.
Now they
You
all know
just
who you
introduced
are
me.
because you had to
Your
shoehorn
audience
yourself into
watches
another coward
yourself
show.
into
College
another
students,
show.
every day that you do that,
Why are
change
we-
my
Hold
mind.
on a second. Hold on
they
a second.
don't know who those college
This is another
students
lie.
are.
This is another lie.
What possible
Let
difference
me
would it be?
clarify, Sam. Let me clarify, Sam. The Change My Mind, everyone knows on the show, right?
Yes.
We've had
How did
professors
you know
on the.
I ended
This is
my
what-
show
he's not
early
gonna talk.
last week, Stephen? If your audience doesn't
Because
even
you're
know
an
me,
idiot,
how
and
did you
half of
know
your
that?
staff
Do you
doesn't
watch
like
my
you.
show?
Because I'm a diehard fan.
Yes, it's because
I
he's a
watch it all the
diehard
Well,
fan.
if you're a
I've heard
diehard
of you,
fan,
but I just
why-
met you.
why not
Congratulations,
have me
Sam Cedar's fan.
and Stephen
I'm just
have a
a huge
conversation?
fan.
I will
like-
talk
right now,
about
every
the
time I
issues
try and
that
talk,
you
you're
want to talk
interrupting,
about,
Sam.
Stephen.
Yeah, and
Right now, I'm trying to talk with you. You're interrupting,
You
Sam.
bombarded the show.
Okay,
You
go ahead.
bombarded my show under a false pretense. You claimed
Bombarded?
just like you claimed that I ducked the debate with you under a false pretense. Have I ever?
That is what the Politicon people told me. I
Oh, is
played
that what they
the
told you?
audio
Well,
of
so
it.
you're just lazy
Yeah.
with your research?
And if
No,
big tech
what-
is
what
You continue.
What research? What do you mean? If the fucking event organizers say that like you didn't want to debate, then what further research is necessary? And you very clearly have made attempts not to debate him. Also, having said all this, the irony is like it's obvious that he was expecting Sam to show up and wasn't very comfortable about it. He clearly fucking knows who Sam is. I would go so far as to say he's Sam's #1 fan, making sure that he knows at any given moment what Sam is up to. So, oh, God forbid he would have to debate him. Well, guess what? It's happening now. My Lord, dude. Hey, what's up, conservative? Conservatives are so fucking big. They're so fucking tough until, you know, they actually have to talk to someone who knows what the fuck they're talking about. In which case, look how quickly he became this, like, cowering little baby. Like, he is, like, legitimately afraid. It's wild, dude. You're an adult man. Just stand by your convictions, repeat the fucking think tank talking points, and see where it takes you. I don't get it. I don't know why you're so triggered. I don't know why you're so mad, you know?
With the lie. You need to research and say, did Stephen ever accept?
They said you were
Let me
booked.
explain to you. Let me explain
They
to you.
said
Let me
you were
explain.
booked,
Hey,
and that
whoa,
you
whoa, whoa,
dropped
Sam,
out and you literally
Sam,
had cold
sweetheart.
feet.
Sam, fake stand-up comic who we can't find any footage about online. Let
I'm
me
not a
finish.
Damn, dude. It's like, damn, he Googled him, dude. Clearly you've like looked it up. That's Stan behavior, bro. Did you want to find a stand-up comedy so you could, you know, cut it into one of those like K-pop Stan style fan cams, dude? Is that why you wanted to find his stand-up, dude? God damn, dude. He's so butthurt. That's crazy. Also, the irony's so thick that Steven Crowder, the most unfunny person on the planet, would literally test the comedy credentials of another human being, let alone Sam Cedar, who is like, you know, he's still like a voice actor, shit like that. You know what I mean? He's been in like comedy shows and whatnot, and not just Arthur, which Steven Crowder was a part of. Like, that blows my mind, dude. Blows my fucking mind. Like, how do you measure someone's comedy metrics, dude? I'm sorry, Sam. You're not funny. You don't do enough racial slurs, okay? It's not for me. Now, my taste is doing minstrel shows or doing AAVE when describing black farmers. Like, that's my humor. My humor is so advanced and so fucking at a level that you can't comprehend, that like when Ethan wants to fucking play a compilation of my greatest hits, YouTube automatically fucking age restricts it. You know, that kind of humor. Anyway,
Stand-up comic.
Oh, you're not? Okay, that makes sense because everything that I've seen is incredibly unfunny and unentertaining,
Well,
which may
I'm
explain
not
the
a
audience.
stand-up
Ironic,
comic.
irony alert, Stephen.
How
Comedian.
much have you watched of my stuff,
The
Stephen, that
irony
you
alert.
think that your
Can I
audience
answer your
would
question?
appreciate
Sam.
our discussing things?
Samuel, can I answer your question?
Yes.
So you have gone on, you've done the same thing with other comments. Everyone has a bigger audience than you because you said, I want to speak with Steven Crowder. You believe that at some point there was some acceptance? When have I ever done a Politicon? Ever?
I
When
don't
have as a
know.
matter of fact,
I
in the
haven't
last
followed your
decade,
career like
in
you
the
seem to
last
have followed
decade,
mine, Stephen.
in the last decade, I haven't done a single political conference.
How
I
can
hosted
you say-
CPAC for 4 years and stopped because they suck.
How can
They
you
don't
say-
pay
Okay.
and they're full of losers.
What about
and you've been
Gavin McInnes's
clamoring
show?
for it, and it's a
Gavin told
lie.
me that you dropped out of doing
How
his
can you
show
say
because
that
This
you-
is
I
just
was going to
hearsay
go-
and gossip.
But how can
I
he
have
say
I've
you
never
don't
met
more of
follow
a
your
woman.
career when he wants
Well,
to
I don't
keep
even need to-
debating?
I don't-
Damn, that's that Jesse Lee Peterson line, dude. I've never met more of a woman. You know, you do gossip. Dude, you literally just spent the first like 10 minutes crying about how he doesn't have the credentials, talking about how you like literally Googled his stand-up to try to find if he had like any stand-up out there, failed, got mad. Like, I don't know, man. It seems like, yeah, that's the L, boys. That's the L for Stephen L. Crowder right here. What a fucking L nerd.
We need to talk
It's
about any
bizarre.
of this.
All right,
Let's talk
okay.
about the issue.
So,
the
Ethan, do you want to have a
CDC.
conversation, Ethan?
Let's talk
about the
big tech.
vaccine because
Ethan, do you want to have a
Absolutely, I
conversation?
do.
You're going to hide.
you felt
Absolutely,
so
I do.
strongly about
Big tech.
So why are you hiding behind San Cedar?
Oh no, no, me and Sam are aligned. I'm not
with
hiding.
him.
He just
Well, you're just a
he knows the
liar.
issue.
So you're a
Ethan,
liar.
'cause remember we
You
said-
brought
hold
in
on a second,
somebody
hold on
else
a
to
second.
debate.
I mean, it
Yeah,
sort of
yeah, yeah.
feels like
It's
you guys are the ones
ridiculous.
who are hiding.
Really?
Ethan's
Hiding?
being
No, this is
completely open
actually...
about it.
Who snuck in on you?
Who's the guy who
Ethan's
never
being
appears
completely
on
open
stage,
about it.
never does a live show,
But is a
never
comic.
even sheds, never even allows a shadow of comedy to be perceived on his program? It's just hiding.
Right.
Everything we do is out in the open. H3.
Steven,
you know
you're wearing a
that we
holster.
agreed.
So what?
Hold on a second, yeah? So? I want to normalize responsible gun ownership. Is that your debate? No wonder you had to bring in a hack for you.
wanna
Well,
call
no,
it
you're talking about
Well,
comedy.
that's
I
what
mean,
you
debate
do,
strategy.
Steven.
That's
Write
not
it
very
for you.
funny.
You have a holster, bro.
Also, you're
You have a
sponsor
holster
Spartans.
that takes advantage of mentally ill women for a
main
show.
sponsor is about gay boy
All right,
love.
okay.
All of it.
All right, Sam. You got it. You got it. I hope you have
No,
a.
come
I
on.
hope you have a
Steven,
wonderful
if-
highlight reel.
Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on, hold on.
Come
Let
on,
me just make
Steven.
one point.
Okay, there's got to be a point where they debate, right? They're not just like yelling over one another. God damn, dude. Steve Crowder is doing the ultimate manly move, which is yell hysterically when you feel as though you've been backed into a corner. That corner being somewhere that he's supposed to be super comfortable in, which is debating. Because, you know, remember, all of this started when Crowder on the Rogan show said that the left doesn't want to debate him because they're too cowardly. Remember, it doesn't seem like he doesn't want to debate at all here, but maybe I'm wrong.
Hope you enjoy Politicon.
Hold on,
Ethan
let
will
me make
release the
one
private
point, Steven.
messages.
Take it easy.
Steven,
All right,
don't
thanks,
bail.
guys.
You don't
I
wanna
appreciate
have
it.
Don't
It's
bail, you
adorable.
coward.
Hey, Sam, one thing before I go. One thing before I
If
go.
it's
Can you
about
take off your
issues,
glasses?
Steven,
Hold on.
One thing before I go.
I
Can you
just
take
wanna
off your
see-
glasses?
we just wanna see if
I
there's
just want to
buttons.
see if you take them off. If you have the Velveteen Rabbit buttons. That's the only thing I'm curious
One-
about. It's the only interesting part about
Steven,
it.
Or if
I-
there's a soul.
Let's
Just
debate.
take off the glasses.
Let's debate,
Don't
Steven.
hide behind.
What does that mean? What, dude, is this like like when Steven Crowder says something, I'm like, is this advanced racism? You know what I mean? Like maybe I don't understand it. Like what was he trying to say? Like what is the reference there? Is that like advanced anti-Semitism maybe? Like what are these references, bro? God damn. I think he meant Coraline. I don't know what that is. What the fuck? What is he trying to say? I don't know. Maybe he has a really funny joke. Ultimately, behind that statement.
Behind the
Don't
glasses.
be a coward.
Don't say
I
let's
will-
debate, Ethan. You've
I
lost
will-
Coward.
All right,
Debate
this
the
is sad.
issues. What
This
does
is
it matter who
Steven,
you
shut
debate,
up.
coward?
All right, good. You guys are
Wow.
good. Thank you.
Coward.
Appreciate it. Won't even take off the glasses.
I was right.
All right, yeah,
We
you
knew
can
you'd
give me
run
the X.
away.
This
You
is-
run away twice. Cold feet again.
Come on, Steven.
Wow.
Wait, did he leave? That can't be it.
Wow. Dude, I can't believe he admit to following.
He admitted that he followed the show last week.
We got him.
That's
He
it?
watched the show last week.
We got
went
him.
early.
Dude,
No
we played
way.
him so hard because he literally was following. He saw that you went live, dude. We fucking got him.
Oh my God! We fucking
no.
nailed him.
Holy shit.
I cannot believe he just ran away. I cannot believe he literally just ran away. That's so. He literally said it was like 10 minutes when you were in the Discord. I cannot. I really thought that he was going to have more to say than this. That's so wild. He just fucking cried the entire time, admitted to watching him, admitted to like following his every footsteps to ensure that I guess like they never run into one another on the internet. Hassan, you really thought he'd debate? Yeah, dude, what the fuck? Half the time he wouldn't even show his face. That's crazy, dude. That's actually fucking crazy.
So do you want to respond to here? You want to throw him up, Dan? Yeah. Do you want to respond to anything he said now that he's not talking over you?
Well, I mean, look, he's obviously lying about the idea that he wouldn't want to do a debate with me because his audience wouldn't know. Here's a guy who literally tracked my show last week because he was afraid that this would happen. Here's a guy who claims to have watched, I don't know. I don't know what it is he said he watched, but he's not worried about audience not knowing who he's debating because he sits down with random college kids and sandbags them on their campus. I have the recording from Politicon when they called and he backed out. I have emails from Gavin McGinnis, whose show I would have never gone on, except he offered up a debate with Crowder, and Crowder left. And so, I think Stephen is afraid of debating somebody. Look, I do a political show every day. It's dry,
I don't.
It's boring,
it's obvious.
and you don't.
Yeah, exactly. And so if he
afraid.
wants to debate the issues, what's the difference between me and anybody in the world?
I mean, only that he is convinced that for whatever reason, he's nervous about debating me. I don't know why. I don't know why that's the case.
But
I debated Charlie Kirk at Politicon. It was fine. I thought Kirk did a fairly good job. I think Stephen's not a total idiot, but I also do think he's a bit of a liar.
I mean, yeah, we even went through the effort of tracking down this claim that he never booked us for the show. I mean, here's the email, super professional. So I was like, I reached out to the girl. She said, I said, did you send me this email? She said, yes, I did. Years ago, for a few months, I worked for Steven Crowder booking. I'm not quite sure who you'd contact now. I know his dad.
Dude, I can't believe, I can't believe Steven Crowder literally fucking made fun of Ethan's Tourette's and then spent 15 minutes crying while simultaneously admitting to literally fucking Googling everything about Sam Seder. Clearly, that's not something you do when this is an irrelevant person in your life. How much fucking real estate does Sam Seder occupy in Steven Crowder's already tiny brain? Yo, conservatives are so strange, dude. Using woman as an insult, saying you're gossiping, that's so crazy. That's crazy.
Does the booking for him.
Now I want to know how Steven Crowder is going to try to spin this into, I don't know, somehow that he won this. As much as Rice Gum takes in yours. Oh, speaking of Rice Gum, actually, he DM'd me last night and he said, what did he say? He said, basketball 1v1. He said, don't be scared. So I'll set that up eventually. We'll do a 1-on-1, 1v1 basketball, me versus Rice Gum. We'll do that. It's not crazy that's not crazy. That's fucked up. Crowder is having Trump Jr. on tomorrow to distract from this L. I mean, yeah. Have a gigantic loser. This close to Father's Day, Steven Crowder. He's gonna be. Donald Trump Jr. is not going to be in the right mental mindset to be on the show. You know what I'm saying? He's not in a good mindset right now. This close to Father's Day, he's thinking about how Donald literally doesn't respond to him. What is this?
Let me know if you need me to try to find you. How would she know that if she didn't work for them?
What's funny is that when the Politicon, when the woman from Politicon called me, she also mentioned that his dad, she said his team, I think Stephen got cold feet, his team pulled him out. And I said, wait, he's got a team? And he said, well, his dad.
Right.
And, I mean, I called my dad to see if he could call Stephen's dad to see if Stephen would debate me, like on some type of play date. But my father reminded me that I was a grown man and I should probably handle it myself.
Oh, that's funny. My dad is actually Zooming with his dad later today to debate this very topics. You know what else he lied about? Filing this lawsuit. There's no lawsuit he ever filed, at least that I can find in the public record, which lawsuits are public record. So he is a liar, as far the evidence does suggest.
Yeah, and the thing is that, they go on and on about getting demonetized from YouTube or whatever it is, and they never, for them, it's really just a way of generating clicks. There are
the same with
policies.
The lawsuit.
Yeah, I mean, there are policies that you could pursue, but he can't ever address those because his ideology is such that there's no way.
So H3 spends weeks slagging off Crowder. Then when he finally agrees to a debate, he's so weak and unable to man up on his own, he has to get someone else to hold his hand and calls it a win-law. Wait, what difference does it make? Like, what a lot of conservatives don't recognize for some weird reason is like Ethan is literally admitting, like he's admitting that like he's not the right person to fucking to do this sort of debate. Like he's saying like I'm not like very politically minded, and also I'm not like I'm not a politics guy, I'm not a debate guy, I'm not even smart. Like, so someone who is as big brained as Steven Crowder should have no problem debating someone with a tiny brain like Sam Seder with a tiny audience. You know what I mean? So it's rather odd that he would throw a fit like this. Okay, dude, I get that Austin called me. Like, why don't you chill the fuck out? All right, I'm doing this, and I'll call Austin afterwards. Okay. It's so funny that like he's basically saying like, no, I only like to debate people that I can fucking steamroll over. Not saying that Steven Crowder would be able to steamroll Ethan either, but who he perceives he has an easy go at it.
For him to address it as a policy matter. So because as a policy matter, he'd have to agree that there needs to be government regulation of these things. And he doesn't believe in government regulation. And so he just goes out there and makes it as if it's like conservatives are somehow being oppressed, as opposed to...
It's actually not true at all. Everybody who talks about these issues, if they're taking a conservative or liberal stance on them, they're all getting demonetized equally. The fact that Stephen wants to go out there and do a mock execution of George Floyd and then act bewildered when his channel gets when his videos get demonetized is quite surprising to me that he would even be feigned surprised at that.
Yeah, we get, I don't know what our percentage of demonetization is for our videos. It happens. We just don't whine about it like they do and use it to generate clicks. It's because we're willing to talk about topics that we know. I mean, we don't do shit like what Crowder does that are just out and out racist and homophobic, but we will talk about protests. We will talk about political situations that advertisers don't want to be a part of.
Absolutely,
and that's just part of doing the job responsibly. Is understanding you're not going to be able to suck a dollar out of every single bit of content if you're actually trying to make a point about issues.
And one other thing he keeps bringing up, apparently the reason he's ducked you, Sam, is because you only have 1 million subscribers.
I know it.
And I'd actually challenge somebody to go through all of the interviews he's done and find any with under 1 million, because that would be quite ironic.
Yeah, I find it hard to believe that Stephen has that metric, particularly since half of his, all of his Change My Minds are with college students who may not even have a YouTube channel.
Right. You have more subs than them, surely.
At least a couple more than them.
Yeah. Well, I feel we got him pretty good here, Sam.
Well, I would have liked to had an exchange of ideas with Stephen, so I'm a little bit disappointed. And I know how much you were looking forward to that too. But I guess Stephen is just more interested in personalities than he is actually debating issues.
Yeah.
It's sort of sad.
It is
It's sort of
sad.
sad
It
in
is
that
sad
regard.
because he claims he's a political thinker, but he didn't think much in this case.
I got to wonder if there are members of his audience right now who are probably thinking like, hey, wait a second, maybe Stephen is actually afraid of having some type of exchange. I mean, he spent, how many times did he say in the preface of going on air with you, a lot of times people won't show up for debates with me. And
Here we are, baby.
He only wants to debate, people who have a perspective on the left that have a YouTube channel that's over 1 million. Well, maybe you've got to expand your horizons a little bit.
Maybe you should be looking to debate people who are actually proficient in debating and the topics itself. Instead of, he referred to me as a layup, and I would agree with him in that I'm not politically savvy and I'm not a debater.
And my favorite part about it is that, the conservative dudes that are trying to run defense for Crowder literally keep trying to dunk on Ethan by repeating what Ethan has already said about himself, which is like, oh well, dude, oh my God, you just couldn't debate him. It's like, yeah, he's literally saying that. He's like, why the fuck would I debate him? I'm not a fucking political commentator. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is the fucking, incel king Paul Joseph Watson over here. H3 spends weeks slagging off Crowder. Then when he finally agrees to a debate, he's so weak and unable to man up on his own. He has to get someone else to hold his hand and calls it a win-law. I mean, I don't know. I think it's pretty cowardly that Steven Crowder ran away from that after, portraying him as like the intellectual giant. You know what I mean?
So what actual value is there in debating me for him other than for him to look smart and get an easy point?
Exactly. But let me say this, that the original points that you were making about when it came to the masks, I've interviewed, I don't know, half a dozen different epidemiologists, maybe a little bit more over the past year on the show, some of the top epidemiologists in the country. And the fact of the matter is that there was confusion and really not the science was not settled on the way that COVID was transferred. They didn't realize that it could be aerosolized. But the bottom line is that wearing masks, once they understood this, the downside to wearing masks is nil.
Zero. Well, yeah, according to Steven, scientists are not ever allowed to change their mind. See, scientists need to be right the first time and only the first time. They're not allowed to change their stance with data and research. And if they do, then they're frauds forever, for everything. Right. I mean, I even saw Steven talking about, Fauci was wrong about AIDS back in, the early 80s. And that's proof.
Right.
Fauci was wrong sometime previously in his career. So therefore, he is a fraud forever.
Speaking of fraud, I noticed that Crowder put up an email, making a big deal about these emails from Fauci. And one of them he put up was from February 12th, where Fauci was saying, we don't think masks for the general public is going to be that effective or make a point.
Which is what he said publicly.
Which is what he said publicly a month later. But the fact is that the development of the science behind aerosolization of the virus was an ongoing effort. Wasn't until late April that they started to realize this is the way it's going through there. And then it's not easy to take a novel new coronavirus and assess what are the size of the particles. Right. But the bottom line is once they said do masks, it is an easy lift to wear a mask. It sucks, but it was the safest thing to do. And I'm sitting here with a study. I mean, they're really starting to come out now that the masks cut down by anywhere from 25 to 35% on the transmission. And so the idea that there are some scientists, he talks about aggregating the science. Look, he doesn't know how to aggregate. He's afraid to debate me. And a guy with 1 million subscribers on YouTube, he's not aggregating the science. There are professionals who aggregate the science.
Sam, do you think that the size of your sub count is there a correlation to your skills as a debater? That seems to be what Crowder's understanding is.
Apparently,
Yeah.
or it's just that he is looking for any excuse as to why he doesn't want to have a conversation with somebody who actually, day in, day out, reads this stuff and talks to scientists and talks to reporters. I mean, look, you can find a lot of people who will say the Earth is flat. And if I aggregate those into all the scientists who say the Earth is in fact not flat, then you could say there's some questions. But that's not the way that science works. The fact of the matter is that we have a basic understanding of what's going on. And the idea of you saying, listen to the scientists, particularly addressing YouTube guys.
Well,
right?
yeah, when you're Steven
that's
Crowder.
That's a good idea.
Thank you. Yeah, so obviously our whole little battle came when...
Why exactly are they pointing out the sub count / audience? Like, why does it matter in this debate? It matters in the debate. Like, if Steven Crowder is the type of person who, like myself, admits that like debates are fucking just purely for entertainment and not necessarily like changing anybody's minds, which of course that's not what Steven Crowder admits. He literally says the exact opposite of that, which is why his show is unironically called Change My Mind. He would say like, why the fuck would I platform someone else when it's not going to be any benefit to me, right? Like that's my take on why I don't like fucking lend credence to like every dipshit that is like, oh my god, I want to debate you, Hassan. I'm doing a video on how much you suck or whatever. It's like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I'm not great. I'm not a great debater, and I don't think that debates are productive to begin with, which is why I wouldn't do it. But having said that, there aren't a lot of left-wing content creators that are all that sizable in the end, and Sam is still one of the biggest ones. If I am currently the biggest one, then Sam is still one of the top 5 to 10 left-wing commentators out there currently. So for him to simultaneously hold the position that debates are good and you can change people's minds, want to debate other people routinely as a part of his content, and then lastly, literally for him to act like he wants to debate people on the left, only to run away from one of the more prominent left-wing commentators, implies that there's a little bit of a mismatch there with the goals and the ideas and the values that he espouses and what he truly believes. And that's the whole point. Having said that, I mean, I would fucking debate Steven Crowder. I would. But I high-key doubt that he would be down to do such a thing either, so. What would you think Crowder said that Ethan said he would regret? I think it was probably his making fun of his Tourette's, like, directly. That's really fucked up. Hassan is the new Bravo TV. Yeah, I saw Ryan Grimm, DC Bureau Chief of The Intercept, said, watching this, friend of the show, Ryan Grimm said, watching this Ethan Seder Crowder thing and finally starting to get the appeal of Twitch and YouTube politics now, it's basically Bravo. Makes sense now. Somebody's about to overturn a table and you don't want to miss it. This is a more concise explanation. It's reality TV, but for us politics nerds. Yeah, I mean, it's just pure content. I think like the main thing that he admitted here that's like pretty whack for Steven Crowder most likely is the fact that he is obsessed. And while he simultaneously said, "Oh, I don't know you," my audience would say, "Who are you?" Well, it seems like Steven Crowder knows exactly who the fuck Sam Seder is. As a matter of fact, I would go so far as to say Steven Crowder is the biggest fan of Sam Seder. Like, knowing exactly when he's live, knowing exactly when he's not live, being afraid that he was going to potentially come on to the Ethan's broadcast. Like, it's crazy. Watching the Majority Report, I mean, seems like he's watched a lot. Seems like not only has he watched a lot, but he's also Googled, like, to see if there's any background information on Sam. Oof. Can't wait for the copium on Crowder's part. I don't think he will do that. I think he will try to bury it as best as he can. I'm assuming he will try to bury it as best as he can to not bring a lot of attention to this from right-wing commentators. I think other right-wing commentators, though, I hope I'm not spoiling this, but I hope they do make videos about this, about how like they think Sam Seder is a fucking con artist and how Ethan was a coward or something like that, because that'll be a Streisand effect right there. And I think more people will pay attention to it. He certainly watches the Majority Report more than I do. Holy shit.
Steven said it's his favorite clip of the year of us saying, listen, if you're like, it's okay to listen to scientists who are trying to save. It's okay. You don't need to question every single thing that comes across your desk, especially if you have no qualifications at all to assess this information. The fact that we need to be skeptical of every single thing of our government, that we don't trust our government to that extent, then our society has failed us in a way that we should just end it now.
But I think like you can be skeptical, but the fact of the matter is that what Crowder is not doing, he's not being skeptical in any type of thoughtful way. He is weaponizing doubts that happen to align with his political ideology. We saw it with the president that he was so supportive of. I mean, it's not hard to find many clips of Trump saying this is just going to go away. It's not really serious. There's only a couple of cases. We shouldn't even test.
Right.
And Crowder, that's why Crowder was doing it. I mean, if he was doing a genuinely skeptical, sort of like categorization and cataloging of the science and laying it out there in a way that showed some measure of integrity. But let's be honest. I mean, people just watch this. Crowder had the opportunity to debate this with somebody who is serious about it and wanted to debate with him. I did nothing but, approach this with a respectful manner. And he was afraid to do that because he knows he's full of it.
So
and he's
much
just delivering talking points that, his NRA buddies, give him to go.
Yeah.
You and I can talk about it. It's appointed to a man wants to be invited. It's appointed to a man wants to be invited on this show tomorrow on YouTube. I don't even know what the fuck that means, but here you go, boys. Go off. Go buck wild, okay? There you go. Pop off on him. It's a Bible verse. Is it?
It's all part of the big grift that all these conservative media. It's like you said. It's like
it's done already. Holy shit, dude, that was crazy. That was insane, dude. That was. I mean, this is a fucking 5K already. Jesus Christ. I mean, keep going, but that was a good one. That was like fucking 40 seconds, dude.
Every dollar out of every controversy, and that's all that matters to him because he's got these big beautiful leather holsters and those things don't fill themselves, and it is worth mentioning once again that he noticed that you ended your show early last week, and
that's right.
And we specifically were like, I know he's watching because he's so afraid of Sam that we need to pre-record something, air it so that he thinks you're live.
Right now,
worked.
as we are talking, there is a live show that's on.
And
he came on. We started the show 2 minutes early, and he did not walk on to the set until our show was live.
So true.
And you I got to say, you called it last week.
Thank
and
you.
I was like, I just don't believe that he's that nervous.
Yep, he
about
was. I can't believe he admitted it. What a dumbass. to
What a
admit it.
dumbass. And also, like, the alternative is I think that Sam could show up, and I can't wait to show my audience how this moron who's been dogging me supposedly and sending people to, debate me and this and that, I'm going to put this to rest once and for all. If Steven Crowder was as much of a man as he seems to be with his, all his weightlifting and his gun and his holster. He's got a weapon, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
I'm coming unarmed. Hands up. If you want to shoot, go ahead.
How much
shoot.
alpha brain do you think he takes in the morning?
He's probably juicing. And the idea that he had at least a week in advance knowledge that he couldn't come prepared to debate somebody who actually reads this stuff and spends their time doing this is almost like the saddest thing that one could say about Steven Crowder.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's some other things.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Wow. Steven.
It's really sad. I mean, I was looking forward to it because I really wanted to
the ultimate irony, right, as you've pointed out, is that he's the guy who got famous for with the debate me. You can't, if you're the debate me guy, that's your claim to fame. You can't dodge people that want to debate you, Steven. You got to own this thing that you create, this image you created. Stop being a bitch. Stop being a baby. You're like, come on, Steven. I think he lost the right to those holsters. I think he has to retire them.
Honestly, yeah, I think
I'm
maybe
calling
it's time
on retiring those holsters today.
Normalize wearing a squirt gun instead is what I would say to him. You'd have to, or maybe like a Nerf. They have to have like a Nerf weapon. Like, is he old enough to now like have a license for a handgun? Or
I really wish that like Joe Rogan wasn't such a fucking fan of like Sam Harris and Dave. Well, not Dave Rubin as much, but like, and would just have Sam Seder on. You know what I mean? That'd be good. I think that would be really good. Problem is that like the online left is growing as a community and in size, but I just I don't think that like I think Sam Seder on Joe Rogan would be interesting, and I think that would like give the online left a lot more clout, and also on top of that it would give it more like legitimacy in the eyes of all of these like conservative debate lords. You know what I mean? Why doesn't Joe Rogan like Sam Seder? I think Joe Rogan doesn't like Sam Seder because of Sam Harris and all these other people like in the IDW. All these people in the IDW saying that, Sam Seder is a bully. You know?
he doesn't need to anymore. Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, like, I think we need to have a meeting with his dad. And,
I have his
bring
email
his father.
now, so I'll be. Maybe we should email him. Just say, we think that.
I don't know if his dad will be answering any of my emails after today.
After today, we're gonna.
Honestly, I think you can get on Joe Rogan before Sam. I don't think I'll ever be able to get on Joe Rogan as much as I used to be a huge fan of his, and I still watch all of his shit. Like, I don't think Joe Rogan will have me on anytime soon. I criticize him too much. Like, why would he? You know what I mean? It's just the reality. Also, because I don't run the ads at the top of the hour when I'm supposed to. A 60-second ad break. And then, but at least when I do run those ads, I inform my audience that, they can avoid seeing the ads by subscribing. With a $5 subscription or a Twitch Prime for free. Or they can use AdBlock or VPN as well. That sort of thing. I don't think he'd invite anyone to criticize him. I mean, I think he's probably had some people that have been critical of him, but not like overtly critical, like over the top critical of him, like I've been. Here's the ad break now, by the way. That was a good transition. That was a good transition.
Gonna have to ask for his badge and weapon.
We're both fathers. I can't tell you how disappointed I would be in my son if he did what Steven did.
Oh, so disappointed, son. Yeah, son.
I just my son had his final Pony League baseball game yesterday, and I saw more courage from some of those 8-year-olds than we witnessed from Steven Crowder today. I mean, I would say probably like a good 3 or 4 of them were a lot tougher than Crowder. One guy hit the ball, the other one tripped.
Yeah.
And one of them didn't have their favorite hat, but they all played through it.
Right.
They all played through
Inspiring.
it. And sad that Steven.
Did you find it interesting too how he wouldn't put the camera on him for a minute? It was just on his sidekick.
Yeah, what do you think was going on? Do you think he was like going like, Dad,
Yeah.
Get Dad in here.
Yeah.
Get Dad in here now.
Got it.
But I'm glad he finally brought it back because I was like, what is with the sidekick? Why are you throwing him under the bus?
I know it. And the sidekick had to pretend like he was a big fan of mine. And
He had to
that's
come
why
in
they've
real
been
quick. Yeah.
monitoring the show. That is.
His
Wow.
sidekick wasn't even drunk yet. It is early. Usually that guy's pissed drunk by the time they do their show.
To be honest, like I have the only time I think I've watched an extended run of Crowder show was when he was talking about you. I was trying to figure out like how did this start, and he was really drippily condescending for a guy who is afraid to actually test his beliefs.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised. I haven't seen him so weak since watching him get punched in the face and dropping like a house of cards
By an old man, right?
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the other thing. I don't know if you knew this. So Crowder, when he was complaining about what happened on YouTube to him, he put out a compilation video of people responding to when he got decked by a union guy in Wisconsin at the 2011 march protest against Scott Walker. And in that compilation, I was in it. And he put the video out. And then he pulled it back and cut me out of the compilation and reposted it on Twitter. Do we have that stuff?
Oh wow. He is deathly afraid of you.
It is somebody on Twitter saw it and sent it in. We did a video about it, but it is weird.
He is deathly afraid.
And how he pretends, that's the thing I don't get. Like, how do you spend so much time worrying about somebody that you think is not big enough to even discuss?
Who is he supposed to debate then? If not you.
I don't know.
Yeah, me? I'm not a political debater. I'm just some dumbass. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's trolling through to find makeup tutorial sites that have like 2 million subscribers, or anybody who doesn't
Minecrafters have a lot of subs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think a Minecrafter could roll Steven Crowder. Like, if properly coached on what the talking points are, I think Minecrafters, by virtue of like osmosis and learning like talking points from their audience, like their Radlib audience members, could probably roll Steven Crowder, honestly. I mean, it's great. This is wonderful. All I'm going to say is this: Joe Rogan, get on the right side, okay? You know Joe Rogan. You know what the trends look like, okay? The time for right-wing broadcasting on the internet is coming to a close. A lot of these guys are clown asses. You've hyped up a lot of them at the time. You don't do it as much anymore. Start hyping up left-wing broadcasters, Joe Rogan. Get on the right side. Just saying.
There's some Minecrafters my son watches that maybe he'd like to debate on some of these issues.
Right.
Wow.
All right.
Damn, Sam Cedar's children, Carl Jacobs fans, confirmed. Sam Cedar's children, Dream fans, confirmed.
Well, we got him, dude.
Yeah, that was fun. I appreciate your attempting to further the discourse, Ethan. I mean, that's the thing.
And that's all I care about. In the end of the day, I just wanted to put forward the best conversation possible to inform the most people possible. But Stephen today wasn't able to do that for us.
I know. It's so sad.
It's a disappointment.
You gave him the opportunity.
And I hope his dad does have a stern talking to, like, son, this is the way to behave. This was not the proper way to behave in this situation. And gives him a good fatherly talk.
There's been times where I've said to my son, we're going to call up blankety blank's dad or mom, and you're gonna get on the phone and you're gonna apologize. And I just want to say, I'm sure I don't want to speak for you, but we'll be very gracious when Stephen's dad calls and puts Stephen on the phone.
When someone apologizes, you accept that.
Yeah,
you know, because you have to.
I want to make that absolutely clear that if Stephen calls to apologize, I'm going to be gracious about it.
How do you expect a person to debate after trying to take over his show? Essentially, I mean, I don't know. It's not like he's an intellectual giant. Like he's a fucking warlord. Like Steven Crowder is an intellectual warlord. If your argument is that, like, you know, how is he supposed to just like debate Sam Seder? Like, I mean, Sam is just, he doesn't have the mental fortitude to take on a giant like Steven Crowder. You know what I mean? Like, Steven Crowder was ready for a debate with Ethan on a particular subject. If Ethan turning around and being like, hey, I'm not going to do this, but here, I have someone who is like smarter than me to do this for me, then why shouldn't he be able to do that? Like, he's a literal champion of logic and reasoning. He's a titan amongst men. So as predicted, everyone on the left, Ethan's pathetic deception was the end, justified the means, and everyone on the right thinks Steven totally owned. Of course, it's neither, and the world is now dumber for watching. Now, excuse me while I make 8 videos about it. The quarter pounder never stops, dude. You know, things keep happening. They keep happening, and quarter pounder will make content out of it. Does he? I thought he was like off Twitter. What happened?
That's funny that you just reminded me. He kept telling me, I respect anyone that enters the ring, and I'll make my fans known of that. I respect that you're willing to enter the ring with me. And apparently he doesn't respect that about you.
No, I guess not.
You don't have enough subscribers.
I don't have enough subscribers to earn the respect to enter the ring. When you enter the ring,
1 million
you
is
must
a lot,
do
but
so.
it's apparent.
Like, it doesn't matter how little subs Sam Seder has. If you are openly stating that you've like tracked his movement on the internet, do you see what I'm saying? Like, the way he got himself in a bind here, okay? Crowder got himself in a bind here because if he truly doesn't know who Sam Seder is because of how, like, you know, tiny of a content creator Sam Seder is, then he shouldn't be so scared. He would just be like, oh yeah, like whatever. I'll just take you down like I would any other college freshman, right? But if he admits to knowing who Sam Seder is, then he knows that Sam Seder and a pretty sizable audience that he has, a sizable audience that he commands, has wanted to, talk to Steven Crowder for quite some time now. I mean, he openly admitted it. He said, I knew this was going to happen. Why would you fear someone who is so insignificant, you know? It just doesn't make sense.
I'd like to know at what point you are capable of entering the ring. And
what's the subscriber threshold?
What is
because the first time he made this argument, I only had, I think, 500,000 subscribers, and then I feel like the goalposts are like he's dragging them with him as he runs along down the field, and they're just getting further and further.
Yeah,
away.
I mean, I'll try to get more intel on that for you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And, maybe folks can, reach out to him on Twitter and ask him politely, how far are the goalposts?
Let's find out so that we can have something to work towards.
Right.
So
exactly.
if you can ask Steven, how many subs does Sam need to be worthy of the big stage.
Because I'll stick at it just to hit that number. And
well, we could buy you subs, or we can work something out.
It's true.
Yeah.
We could just buy the subs. That really occurred to me, but yes, I
figure
should
it
have done
out.
that. I should have done that today. I should have bought a
we'd be like,
million
hold on,
subs.
Steven. Give me a minute.
All right. Well, I've got to. My show, the pre-record is going to end in about 20 minutes.
Ultimately, don't you think Steven did the right thing? It would have been even more embarrassing had he debated Sam. Well, then, maybe he shouldn't portray himself as this intellectual fucking giant, That's all I'm going to say. It's great because he got he locked him in. He locked him with a situation that he can't get out of. Why is the right image of owning is degrading someone's image and being racist? Well, if you have no arguments, you just fucking attack things that people can't change about themselves. He spent the majority of the time trying to be like, why don't you take your glasses off so I can see that your eyes are beady or something? And for the people who talk about the sanctity of debate, I think it's more about the way it's done. You can't expect someone to have someone lie to you, hijack your show, then benefit off the content. It's shady practice, especially for debate setting. Okay, well, you're talking about someone who literally practices in this every fucking day. His show is set up in a way that his most famous bit on a show is set up in a way where he's looking to have his mind changed, when in fact the entire purpose of that setting for the debate is literally just dunking on little college kids by fucking running the talking point simulator, the conservative talking point tree. So it's kind of weird that you would uphold the sanctity of debate in one respect, as though this is supposed to be this incredibly honorable thing that everyone is engaging in. It's like they're dueling, they're sparring mentally. There is no sanctity of debate, dude. Either you have to admit that, and it's just purely for content, in which case this is great content, and Steven Crowder should have taken it, or I don't know, you're just inconsistent. And goddamn, debate lords hate being inconsistent. Picture a Crowder caught the moment Sam went live.